It's a number that surprised many people when they first heard it.
Yeah, take a look at this. According to the Defender Association of Philadelphia, black drivers are pulled over by police 72% of the time for minor traffic violations, while comprising only 43% of the city's population.
But a new bill recently passed by City Council may soon change this. The Driving Equality Bill, introduced by Councilmember Isaiah Thomas, will make it illegal for officers to stop people for misdemeanors such as a broken taillight.
The bill passed with a 14-2 vote, and Mayor Jim Kenney expected to sign it into law. Joining us this morning, Councilmember Isaiah Thomas. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I know for you, this has been a long time coming.
Yes, absolutely. This is a process that started over a year ago when we originally thought about the idea. Then we introduced the first version of the legislation. After that was introduced, we decided to put together a working group with Commissioner Outlaw and her team, as well as Mayor Kenney, the Public Defender's Office, whose data you just communicated, as well as a number of different stakeholders. So yes, it's been a long time coming. We're happy to finally be across the finish line.
And to break this down, how exactly will this work? If I know you mentioned that there are about 7 non-secondaries, if they're called, violations. What are they? And then how will police officers be able to still enforce the law?
Sure. Thank you for asking that question. I think the first component to really think about is what a secondary violation is. So think about someone not driving in the city of Philadelphia without your seatbelt on. Often you're not pulled over for not having your seatbelt on, but once you are pulled over, if your seatbelt is not on, then you can see some level of enforcement. What we're looking at is we're looking at 7 different things that will change from primary to secondary reasons similar to a seatbelt. And those things are license plate not being clearly displayed, right? So sometimes people relocate it. Sometimes when you first purchase a car, you have that window right there. Sure. So we're trying to give people a gap, but it still must be visible. You still must be able to see the license plate. An extension of 60 days for registration. So if your registration is expired, you'll have a 60-day gap where you can renew that registration before it moves into a primary reason to be pulled over. Now, you can still be ticketed for your registration being expired, but it will not move into a primary reason for being pulled over until after 60 days.
I know a lot of people are saying, well, great, I get a free pass. And a lot of people on the other spectrum would say, you're giving people a free pass. This does not change the motor vehicle code, only how it's enforced.
Exactly. And in the city of Philadelphia, again, enforcement can still take place. We're not trying to give people a free pass. What we're essentially saying is things that impair the vision that might be hanging from the mirror, one taillight being out, minor damage to the outside of the car. What we're saying is these things are minor violations that less than 1% of the time lead to a weapon or some contraband being found, but yet law enforcement still are required to enforce these violations.
So how will they enforce it then? They'll just write down your license plate and contact you later, or how will it still be enforced?
Law enforcement will have a number of different options. So if you haven't heard, we're looking at hiring a significant number of traffic officers to monitor traffic and to address traffic issues specifically here in the city of Philadelphia. There's also an option for a ticket to be mailed. There's also an option for beat patrol officers as well too. And of course, if someone commits a public safety violation, if someone commits a motor vehicle code violation that is a public safety hazard, we can still see some level of enforcement as it relates to addressing those particular issues. Because if you do speed or run that stop sign and there is another issue, you can still see some level of enforcement for that. So what we're focusing on is putting ourselves in a position where we're addressing this issue of inequality as it relates to traffic stops, specifically those that disproportionately impact people of color. But also we're trying to support law enforcement as well, specifically because this was a collaborative effort, and put law enforcement in a position where they're not spread as thin as they currently are right now.
What does this say to the broader issue of policing in our city? Do you see that additional training is required beyond just this initial law?
I think that with this law, we did build in 120 days for training before the level of enforcement. There's a data component to the law as well, too, so we can assure a certain level of transparency. So for me, yes, I think that training is significantly important for law enforcement. We have a lot of work to do as it relates to improving communities of color and the trust and the rapport with law enforcement. But there are a lot of different areas in our city where we have a lot of work to do. And I think this is just a step in the right direction of trying to reimagine what it is to mean to govern in the city of Philadelphia.
What has the reaction been, in your opinion, from law enforcement or from Commissioner Outlaw? Have you spoken with him about this at all?
So Commissioner Outlaw and her team were a part of the working group throughout the entire process, and I commend her and her entire team for coming to the table and putting us in a position where this could be something that we negotiated out. There were several things that we went back and forth about, and to be honest with you, it was a pleasure to work with her and her team throughout the course of this process. We're optimistic to continue to talk to law enforcement over the next 120 days and even longer, because the bill hasn't been signed into law yet by mayor, and once it's signed into law by the mayor, then the 120-day countdown begins. So we're excited to talk to law enforcement. We're excited to talk to other constituents because we want people to understand what we're doing. It's about 7 violations that we're moving from primary reasons to secondary reasons, and we feel like it could put us in a position to really lead the nation.
Overwhelming positive response. You did have 2 council members vote against, and we're going to get to the David O statement, who basically said that it's important that our police be able to safeguard our public highways. This is a statement that I'm reading from him, and roads by stopping vehicles that are a danger to the public because they're not inspected, not registered, and not effectively covered by insurance. I know State Representative Martina White echoed that with a letter to the council as well. Your reaction, your thoughts?
Well, I said similar to what I said on the council floor. First of all, I wish they would have reached out to me prior to the actual vote of the bill. I had a lot of dialogue with a lot of legislators, not just in Philadelphia, but across the Commonwealth, and we gave plenty of opportunity for input. And we just want the communication to be communicated in an accurate capacity. Nothing in this bill will impact insurance. Their concern around public safety is one that the data simply suggests just doesn't exist. The data suggests that these are stops that disproportionately impact people of color, that often leads to civil rights violations and lawsuits that the city essentially have to pay out. And it also damages the trust between communities of color in law enforcement.
Also, I know Thomas brought up Representative White. Her concerns were similar to Councilman David O. Also, the fact she mentioned it could jeopardize funding streams that help Philadelphia. And there are also some concerns about the legality of doing this. What is your response to that, and how could this affect when it comes to money for the city?
So we looked at the DOJ report that talked about what took place in Ferguson and how
Ferguson, Missouri.
Yes, exactly, and how it's really a violation of rights when we put ourselves in a position as a municipality where we're going to rely on poor people and people of color and those type of fines and fees that comes with enforcing these minor traffic violations. And we know that they disproportionately impact people of color. There are some serious issues there. So I think that for us to depend on revenue based on violating people's civil rights is something that's extremely wrong. In the midst of creating the legislation, we talked to a number of different law partners, from the public defender's office to the city solicitor's office to a number of different lawyers, to get legal opinions throughout the course of this process. And we feel like if signed into law and mirrored by an executive order from Mayor Kinney, that it could withstand any legal challenge in court.
Real quick, in our final 15 seconds here, because I know a lot of people say, well, this is how you get illegal guns off the streets, through these traffic stops. The numbers don't support that.
At all. Less than 1% of the time in the city of Philadelphia, less than 1% of the time, does a traffic stop lead to illegal gun and or contraband. And what I'll also say about the guns before we close out, we are in a sad state as it relates to the gun violence in the city of Philadelphia, and the shooters as well as the victims are getting younger and younger. These are people who don't even have the ability to drive a car because they're not old enough to have a license. So for us, we want to continue to reimagine what it is to impact public safety, and we want to put ourselves in a position to do the best we can for the citizens of Philadelphia.
Multi-layered problem.
Thank you, Councilman Isaiah
Thank you for
Thomas.
having me.
You
I
are the
appreciate
author of this bill, and we're the first city, or the large city in the nation, to make a move like this.
Yes, and we want to continue to lead the conversation.
We
So
appreciate
thank you.
your time.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this.